So today we're going to be reading Mouse, and Mouse is a graphic novel. Now, some of you may or may not have heard of a graphic novel before. Some of you may love or hate graphic novels, but let me tell you this. Graphic novels convey powerful messages through a combination of words and pictures. They create powerful images so that you can better understand the powerful message that the author is trying to convey. Now, this particular graphic novel is titled Mouse, and it is by Art Spiegelman. Now, Art Spiegelman tells the story of his parents, Vladek and Anja Spiegelman, who survived the Holocaust. At the start of this excerpt, Vladek and Anya are living in hiding with Mrs. Matanawa, whose husband does not know she is hiding Jews. They arrange a meeting with smugglers at the house of a woman named Mrs. Kauka to discuss plans to be smuggled out of Poland. Now, here in today's classwork, I have provided the audiobook. Please make sure that you use and utilize the audiobook. It is very helpful when you are reading this graphic novel, especially if this is the first time you have read a graphic novel. It really organizes all of the words and everything very carefully for you and all of the ideas. Now, when we go right to the reading, sometimes we may be a little confused as to how to read and interpret a graphic novel. Here on the very top where it says, when I arrived to Kalka, the two smugglers were there together, sitting in the kitchen. This is Vladek Spiegelman speaking. This is the narrator of the story, and he is actually the author's father telling his son the story. So when you see this text up here, also right here and here, that is the father narrating the story to his son. Each one of these images right here is called a panel. Now, a panel is very important because each panel is a different drawing conveying a different scene or a different part of a scene. And each panel has very unique visual metaphors. And visual metaphors are very, very important in this graphic novel. I wanted to go over one very important visual metaphor, which is part of our guided practice. So we have the graphic novel annotation chart. So one thing that I wanted to tell you, because it's a little hard to really get on your own, especially when we're not reading the whole graphic novel, is that in this graphic novel, the mice portray the Jewish people. The cats portray the German people, and the Polish are portrayed, let me just fix that, as pigs. And that is actually a very, very interesting visual metaphor, because you have to ask yourself, why do you think the author chose to portray the Jews as mice? Why do you think he chose to portray the cats as German people? Maybe mice are seen as meek. Maybe they're seen as vermin, as things that must be killed or eradicated. The cats as perhaps the hunters. Pigs is always a very interesting one. What do you think of when you think of a pig? Do you think of something that is greedy, that is hungry? Go along those lines and answer the following question below. So, just to remind you, please make sure you use the audiobook. It is very, very useful. And the audiobook for today's excerpt goes from 1827 all the way down to 2718. So you do not have to listen to any before 1827 or anything after 2718, which is right here. Here again, let's just go over one more time. This right here is the narration provided by the father. Each one of these is a different panel. We have about 8 pages of text for today. And each little speech bubble, that's what they're called. It's called a speech balloon or a speech bubble, conveys the characters speaking to each other in a different manner. Now, take note of the relationship between Vladek right here and the wife, and why she does not want to leave for Hungary. Her name is Anya, by the way. Sorry, I forgot to mention it before. Here we see Vladek coming to visit uh, his cousin Milok, but he has to wear a mask in the scene, and that's the mask of a pig. So ask yourself, why do you think Vladek has to wear a pig mask right here? We see a lot of very interesting visual metaphors throughout this graphic novel. Please take note of everything here. Look at the detail, the steam coming up. What does that usually symbolize? When you watch a cartoon, for example, it symbolizes stench. It symbolizes some odor, something oozing out of it that is maybe a little bit repugnant or repellent. As we go through this entire graphic novel together over the course of this week, you're going to see a lot of different ideas popping up. Today is more of a introduction to it, so please just read it fully. Do the audiobook, jot down any main ideas, and we will dive a little bit deeper into this graphic novel in the following days. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Answer all questions in complete sentences. Make sure you summarize it accurately. And today's homework is simply to just do all of this classwork as best as you can to the best of your abilities. So that's all I have for you today. Hope everyone's doing well. Please reach out if you have any questions.